everybody and welcome to Waggaz's Wings episode 3. This video we are going to look at the Immelmann Turn, the man himself, Max Immelmann, the Fokker Eindecker, an aircraft usually associated with Max, the interrupter gear, we'll have a little history lesson on that, and an examination on how to use the blip switch on the Eindecker. So the Fokker here, the Fokker Eindecker, Eindecker means one wing in German. It was an aircraft so infamous that the Royal Flying Corps, later renamed the Royal Air Force, named a period of the air war after this aircraft and called it the Fokker Scourge, simply because it was taking such a terrible toll on the Royal Flying Corps at that time, and they did not have a good reply during that period. So first of all, we're going to look at the manoeuvre named after Max Immelmann. So let's look at the manoeuvre itself. So this is taken from a 1918 flight manual. So the Immelmann Turn is a turn of 180 degrees, achieved by pulling back the stick. So to climb, as the aircraft begins to stall, you hit full rudder in one direction, which then brings the nose around to allow you to turn. If you're at stall speed at the top of the turn, it's generally known as a hammerhead. If you still have some momentum when you hit the full rudder, it's known more commonly as a wing over. So let's have a look at this manoeuvre in action. So here we are in our Eindecker, and we are currently diving head-on at an FE2 British pusher aircraft. So we get a few shots off at him, and we want to get a quick snap turn, so we pull up the nose and approach stall speed. As we stall, I hit full left rudder, which brings the aircraft round, nose down. I pull back with the elevators, and there we are on the tail of the FE2. Now you may notice as we look at the wings that the Eindecker does not have any ailerons. It is what is known as an aircraft that uses wing warping in order to achieve its roll. Now, because wing warping is perhaps not the most effective way to roll an aircraft, ailerons obviously more effective, the Immelmann manoeuvre is a very good way to turn the Eindecker quickly. So you notice here I am on the tail of this FE2, and I am able to fire through my propeller at him and his observer. And this is achieved thanks to a very interesting device, a great significant device called the interrupter or synchronization gear. Now, earlier on in the war, aircraft were not really able to fire forward very easily. There was always the risk of hitting the propeller. So a French pilot called Roland Garros fitted a metal plates, deflector plates, to his propeller, which meant he could fire a machine gun forward and they would ricochet off the plates, protecting the propeller. Obviously, there's a chance that the bullets could ricochet back and hit him and the aircraft, so he was quite a brave chap. He achieved quite a lot of success with the deflector plates and was able to shoot down several German aircraft until he himself crash landed in German territory. And unfortunately, he was unable to destroy his machine before the Germans got their hands on it, so they saw what he was doing and copied it. So after Roland Garros' aircraft is captured, a very ingenious inventor called Anthony Fokker, a Dutchman who had previously been rejected by the Entente powers, much to their later rueful regret, and who then sold his services to the German Empire, came along and invented an interrupter gear that would prevent the machine gun from firing whilst the blades were being threatened by the bullets passing out of the gun. So the Eindecker was the first aircraft to use this device very successfully, and the British's only response at the time was to use pusher aircraft like the FE2 to fire forward. So let's have a look at the external view here. So here you can see the FE2 and me diving on it head on, getting in a few shots. Now the gunners in Rise of Flight, the AI gunners, have absolute insane accuracy. So you see here, I actually took a hit there from the gunner's Lewis gun. So here you see I have pulled up, stalled, used full left rudder and pulled round now to once again face the FE2 from behind. Now, when you're at the top of the Immelmann Turn, you're approaching stall speed, which is quite a dangerous place to be if you have other aircraft above you. And unfortunately, it was reported that Max Immelmann himself was killed shortly after performing one of his signature manoeuvres because there was an FE2 above him that dived on him and he was vulnerable whilst performing the manoeuvre. Unfortunately, the gunner of the FE2, it is thought, shot off part of Immelmann's propeller, which then caused the aircraft to vibrate very violently and shake itself apart, and poor Max Immelmann was killed as his aircraft fell apart. So you can see me firing through the propeller. And the FE2 here, because the gunner can't fire through his own aircraft, his own propeller, he's not really able to get shots off me, so I'm able to attack the FE pretty much without any risk of being hit myself. So here we go, I'm taking the shots. As I'm getting closer, I'm doing more damage. The closer you are, the more damage you do. His engine's been hit. He's smoking. I think the oil is leaking. Now you see I kill the pilot, so the poor pilot there has been killed, and the very brave observer is still firing at me. I guess he has nothing to lose, so he might as well give that a go. He probably knows he's going to die anyway. Of course, these guys don't have parachutes. So here you see I want to Immelmann turn up and around to inspect the FE2 to make sure I did actually get him. So I pull round, and maybe one last little manoeuvre on this Immelmann turn. You can see the external again. So I pull up, approach the stall speed. As I stall, I then hit full rudder to the left, and the aircraft noses round, and then I use the elevator to pull myself back to vertical flight. Now for the final part of this video, I want to talk about the blip switch. So the Eindecker does not have a throttle. You can adjust the revs on the engine by changing the fuel mixture, so that's the ratio of fuel to air, or by using the blip switch, which actually causes the engine to cut out momentarily. It actually cuts ignition to the engine. If you do this too long, or historically if you do this too long, the chances are the fuel could still be flowing, and therefore you could cause an explosion when you switch the engine back on. So you literally just want to blip, blip, blip. And you can see here I'm attempting a perfect three-point landing. My boss at work today actually reproached me for my very poor attempts at three-point landings in my previous videos. I've done my best here, so one little bounce and a bit of a better landing there with the Eindecker. So there we go, I'm blipping the engine, blipping it more and more, and to bring the revs down more, I adjust the mixture. So those of you coming from War Thunder, you're not in Kansas anymore, I'm afraid. So that is how you perform the Immelmann manoeuvre. Thanks for watching.